Okay guys, so in this video we are going to prepare a debtors collection schedule, or you can also call it a schedule of forecast receipt from sales. So it's the same thing. So in this question we've been given the information that we have to go through first. Then after that we're gonna prepare our debtors collection schedule. So the major part that you have to understand, guys, is that when we prepare a debtors collection schedule, we have to use what we call a credit sales. A credit sales. So that's very, very important, because if you don't understand that part, you're going to mess up everything. Okay, let's go to information first. The following are the total sales figures for Green Ltd for the past 3 months of 2021. Okay, then they said they give us the column for months. It's January, February, and March. Okay, so these are the actual figures of the past. Okay, then after that we prepare the future, which is April, May, and June, which means that we can just estimate that we are at the month end of March. Okay, which means that we don't have results for April and May and June. So in that case, we have to prepare what we called a budget. What can happen in the future? Okay, so when we prepare our collection schedule, we also have to include both actual one and a budgeted figure. Okay, so additional information, they give us a total sales. All those amounts that they give us on top on the tables, they are total sales. Total sales include credit and cash. Okay, so additional information, number one, they say 10% of all sales are made in cash, which means that 10% they sold it cash. The other 90% is on credit. Simple as that. Which means that out of 100, guys, 10% is cash, 90% is credit, which means that a 90% is the one that you are going to use when you do a credit sales. Please take note of that, because if you use a 10%, you are going to get zero. You're not going to get anything. Okay, so use 90% because it's the one which is credit sales, because 10% is cash sales. Okay, then number two, they said a cash sales is collected from debtors as follow. A 40% of outstanding amount are collected within 30 days, and earliest settlement discount of 4.5% is allowed to these debtors, which means that if we sold a stock on January, we are going to collect it within 30 days, which is following month on February. Okay, it's the next month. Then the 25% settlement is subsequent month, that is 60 days, and 30% is collected after 90 days. Okay, then other 5% is irrecoverable unless you are required to prepare a bad debt. Please don't calculate a 5% of irrecoverable unless they said prepare bad debts or irrecoverable amount. Okay, in this case, they didn't ask you, which means that we are not going to touch that 5%. Okay, then now let's start. Let's first go to our table that we have to draw. Okay, on our table, of course, we have to draw a credit sales, which we are going to put a credit sales this side. Okay, then we also have the other side, which we have to put the months that are required to be prepared. Okay, so you don't just put many months, guys. Put the months that are required on top. Then on your left, put all months that you have been given. For example, they give us January, February, March, April, May, and June, which means that all those 6 months from January, we put them this side. Okay, let me put them. Okay, let's put January, February, March, April, May, and June. So that's the month that you have to put, guys. Okay. Then after that, you copy those amount and you convert them into a credit sales, which is 90% that we concluded. Okay, it's 300, 400, 500. Okay, let's start by these three. Okay, January is 300, which we are going to multiply by 90%. Okay, February is 400, which we are going to multiply by 90%. Okay, March is 500, which we are going to multiply by 90%. Okay, then now we have to check April, May, and June. Okay, then April is 750, May 550, and 600. 750 and 550. Okay, we have to put 750 then we multiply by 90%. Okay, I think here's 550. We multiply by 90%. Okay, and the last one is how much? Let's check. 600. Okay, it's 600. 600 multiply by 90%. Just to show this calculation, guys, there is a max. There is a max. So please make sure that your calculation look like this. Okay, now let's get the answers for each month. For January, you must also calculate on your side because I'm using a cell phone to calculate. Okay, it's gonna be 300,000 multiplied by 90%. Okay, which is going to give us 270,000. Okay, now let's go to February. February is 400. It's gonna give us 360,000. Okay, then March, it's gonna give us 450,000. Okay, then April is 750, which is going to give us 675,000. Okay, May is 550, which is going to give us 495,000. June, $600,000. It's gonna give us 540,000. Okay, we have calculated our credit sales now, which is the first part that we need to do when we prepare our collection schedule. Now let's go back to question. On our question, now we have to go to number 2. Cash is collected from debtors as follow. 40% of outstanding amount are collected within 30 days and earlier settlement discount of 4.5%, which means that we also have to adjust a discount if they pay within within 30 days. Okay, the 30 days, guys, it simply means that it's a following month. Okay, it's 40% and the discount is 4.5. Okay, now let's check. Okay, apology, guys. We also have to check how months that are required. They said we have to prepare for April up to June. April, May, and June. Okay, so we're gonna have 3 columns on top. So you have to make sure that you put April, May, and June, the required one, on top. Then on your left, you put everything that you've been given on the information. Okay, now let's read the transaction again. They said a cash is collected from debtors as follow. 40% of outstanding amount are collected within 30 days and earliest settlement discount of 4.5% is allowed to these debtors, which means that on the following months, you are going to account 40% of credit sales and the 4.5% discount. So which means that you're gonna say 100 minus 4.5%, which is going to give you 95.5% that you're going to use to calculate. Okay, unless you prefer the method of calculating discount first and you subtract it, but it's gonna take time. Okay, now let's check on our table. So as you can see, guys, on our left side we have a month. That's a month of sales. If you want to check the following month, you must point the left one first. We have January on top. The following month from January is February, which we don't have it on our required. Okay, then February, the following month is March, which we don't have it. April, the following March. Okay, now we are March. March, the following month for March is April, which we have, which means that 40% is going to apply here. Okay, we have a form 50,000. Okay, the one that we calculated as a credit sales, you are going to multiply by 40%, and you also multiply by 95.5%. Okay, so if you do all this calculation, it's gonna give you, let me calculate, 450 multiplied by 0.4 is the same as 40%. Then you also multiply by 0.95.5%. Okay, which is going to give you 171,900. Okay, so this is because it's the following months of March. Okay, then which means that on April we're not gonna have anything because the following month of April is not April for this one. The following month of April is May. On May is the one that we are going to calculate what? 40%. Okay, which means that we're gonna say 675,000 and we multiply by 40%, and we also multiply by 95.5%. Okay, and let's calculate. Then it's gonna give us 257,850. Okay, simple as that, guys. Simple as that. Okay, now let's go to May. The following month of May is June. Okay, which means that this June is the one that we are going to calculate. 540,000 and we multiply by 0.4 and we multiply by 0.95.5 or 95%. Okay, Let's calculate 540. It's gonna give us 20628. Okay, now we are done with that 40%. We are done with the 40%. Guys, as you can see, how it look like. So always, guys, always it will look like this. If you put 40%, which means that it's gonna be like this when you check your order. All right, once you get a 40%, guys, everything now is going to be easy. The following percent is the following column for each. For example, the following percent is 25 and the other one is 30, and the other one we are not going to do it, is irrecoverable. Okay, the following one is 25, and then the other one is 30. Very simple, guys, very simple. Once you get 40 on here, which means that the following one is gonna be 40 here. Let me check again. Yeah, the following one is 25 and 30. Okay, the following one, which means that it's gonna be 25, and the next one it will be 30. This one after 40, the following one is 25, and if we have another column, we're going to put 30. Okay, which means that you're just gonna multiply. Okay, let's just multiply. It's 25% multiplied by 171,900, and we get how much? Let me calculate. Okay, is 171,900, and we multiply by 25%, which is going to give us 42,975. Okay, and this one is gonna give us 30%. Okay, and we multiply by 171,900. It's gonna give us 51,570. Simple as that. The next column is 25%. Then we multiply by 6,7,500. Okay. Six, seven, 500, 6,7,500, and it gives us 168,750. Okay, now we are done. We are done with this part, but we have to go back and check January and February if they are not affected by 25% and 30%. Okay, the following month of January is February, which we were going to put 40% on February, and 25% on March, and 30% on April, which means that 30% on April is going to be affected as well. Okay, 270. So this questions is very simple, guys. As long as you are able to form your own logic. If you don't understand this one, as long as you are doing it correct and it's giving you the right answers. Okay. Okay, this one is gonna give me 81,000. Okay, we don't have another percent, which means that we're gonna only have this one. Then now let's go to February. February, the following months month which we were going to put 40%, it was March. That's why we skipped. And we don't have March on the column. But after March is April, which we have to put 25%. 25% of what? Of 360,000. Okay. $90,000. Okay. Then the next month, after 25%, of course, we have to put 30%. 30%. Once you put a 40%, guys, on which means that the next month you put 25 and the following one you put 30%. It must be in order. Okay. Then we multiply by 360. Okay. Then it's gonna give us 108. 108,000. Okay. So this is how you should prepare it. As you can see, guys, here, now they are in order. So you have to make sure that they are in a vertical like this. Okay. It must be in a form of like a V. Okay. Then we are not done with that question, because that question want us to answer. Prepare the schedule of forecast received from sales. Okay, so if they say that, which means that also part of sales, cash sales that we receive of 10% for each month, you also have to do what? To calculate. Okay, January total sales is 300, February 400, March 500. Okay, April 750, May 550, June 600. But in this case, guys, if you are looking for balance of April when we calculate cash sales, because cash sales is once off, client pay same time, which means that when we calculate for April, we have to use amount of April. For May, we use amount of May. June, amount of June, because it's cash. We are going to receive it same time, 10%. Okay, which means that when we calculate April, it's gonna be 750. Okay, now we have to open column of cash sales received. Okay, then for April, remember we have a total sales of 750, which we are going to calculate a 10% of 750. Okay, 70% of 1050. It's gonna be 75,000. You have to show the calculation that you say 750 multiplied by 10%. Then for May 550, it's gonna give us 55,000. 5,000. And for June 600 is gonna give us 60,000. Okay, so these are not totals, guys. You also have to open column for total. Then you add everything. You have to make sure that you add a column for total so that you can in a method mark. So that's what I wanted to explain in this video. See you next time.